I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Last week I talked about using generative AI as an agent, or this whole concept about agentic AI. And today I wanted to build additional example that kind of demonstrates how you can build something agentic, either for your business, for someone's business, or if you're just curious to learn how agentic AI could work. So we're gonna go through a couple of steps. I'm using the Anthropic Cloud Sonnet model, and then I'm gonna use the Google Cloud BigQuery. The reason I'm using BigQuery because they have some sample data that you can easily use for this kind of tutorial. If you don't have access to Google Cloud account, you can create one on this link. And once you've done that, if you depend on where you're running your notebook, you can use the Vertex AI workbench. But if you're not, you can run this command, and that will authenticate you, so you don't have to copy keys, and it just makes it a lot easier. Once you've done that, you need to copy the data that we're going to use for this tutorial into what we call a data set, and then create some tables, and just run this command on the terminal, and that should take care of that. If all of that is done correctly, you should have a data set called eCommerce and these tables, and then we can get into the meat of the matter. First, you want to load your Anthropic libraries, and then you want to pass in your Anthropy's keys in your terminal. So this command should be able to, if just this, you can run this command to confirm that you've done that correctly. And then like I said, I'm using the Sonnet latest model, but you can use other model if you want. And then you have your Anthropic client, but you associate that. So this whole idea is about tools. So here, what I'm really trying to describe is the various things that I believe I will need to, if you think about an e-commerce agent or a bot that wants to answer people's question. There might be multiple tables you have inside that. There might be multiple data set because this is BigQuery, but think of if you're using SQL, this would be databases. And then you can have multiple tables. And then you want to fetch the table to make sure you're getting the right table. And then you want to run your SQL query. Not only generate, you want the AI to generate a SQL query for you that you can run. Yeah, when you fetch the data, you want to be able to execute that. So you put all of that together into what we call into a variable called tools. And what I'm really doing here is just testing things out, making sure that I can actually access the tables like I run this command. And all it's showing me here is, I'm able to access this table, and I'm able to access this data set, and these are the table within that data set. And then once you've done that part, what is left right now is to put everything together. So we're going to write a function. And what this function does is, depending on what tools the AI decide to use, we can actually make the right necessary API call for us to achieve the kind of result we want. Um, and because I have multiple data sets here, I'm just artificially making sure that it doesn't use any other data set than e-commerce. And here you're just listing tables. You're getting the table name, the specific table here. And here I'm executing my SQL query command. Now this could be an Oracle database, it could be any kind of database you're using in your organization, but this is the part where you actually write the code like you will if you're doing this by yourself. And then the AI can use those code to execute those commands to get the answers. So once you have all of that taken care of, here I'm just testing show me my orders, my email is this. I run that through my model, and I can get, as you can see, it's going to use a tool. It's going to the step of listing the data set, and then I'm going to go through the different steps to show that eventually it's going to write the SQL query to get me the result that I need. And this is what the result looks like and all that. And then you can look at some of the tool name. And for example, we're looking at this data set here, and you can see how the AI will expect some of this result. Now, once you're ready to put, you can put everything together. And here, what I've created is it just putting together everything here is just creating like the proper chatbot itself, and I can have some conversations with that. So let me run that, and we can see what that looks like. Before I go, let me just copy a sample email address that I'm gonna use. So let me do that. Then let's copy this. So I want to say what tell me about my previous order. This is my email. And then all the AI is going to do now is to use the various tools that we've provided for it to write a SQL query, and then it answers the question. And um, if I want, I can ask it to give me additional details about any of this, and it just goes on and continue to execute it. So anyway, this is how you can build. Imagine if if you're running an e-commerce business, as I have done in the past. This could be very useful for either your staff or even the customer for them to get the kind of information they need. And hopefully, you find this is an example of how agentic AI can be used for a small business.